And so, wow, what a ride it has been. 2025 has been a year to remember, I feel, for the world, for all of us. So much has happened, and it's just been intense. So, yes, I'm here. I'm still standing. And I hope everyone that sees this is doing well. We made it. We made it to the finish line of 2025. Some people did not make it. So there's a lot to be said for that. There's a lot to be thankful for. I know this was a challenging year for so many. Um, and I've learned so much this year. You know, I've been reflecting a lot, and um, I recorded my first video in March 2025. And oh my God, I was so nervous, so scared. And Spirit really just pushed me out of my comfort zone. And I'm so glad because I've learned and grown so much. And now I know that it's really not about being perfect, right? Because we're all imperfectly perfect. And so it allowed me to show up as my true authentic self, you know, flaws and all, imperfections and all. And so that's part of the message, right? If you have a calling, if you have something on your heart, on your spirit, do it. Stop allowing yourself to be held back by fear, by judgment, by the opinions of others, right? Your growth, your life isn't dependent on anyone else, right? We all came here to have our own individual spiritual journey, healing journey. We're all here learning lessons and evolving as souls, you know. And so yeah, I just want to close this year with gratitude. I'm so grateful for how far I've come. And not to mention, this is the ending of a 9-year cycle. My God. So much has happened to me personally in this 9-year cycle that I am absolutely ready to close this out and step into 2026, which is a brand new 1-year cycle. And so, you know, and that's collectively. And it's interesting because my personal years is also synced with the universal years. So when it's a 9-year universally, it's a 9-year for me. And so 2026 is going to be a 1 year for the world collectively, universally. It'll also be a 1 year for me. So I feel like I feel the energies more intensely, you know, that way. And I'm dialed in and tapped into the collective. And so I want to make this video because I had written a blog post that I've decided to turn into a video. And it's entitled 2025, the Year of the Hermit, and 2026, the Year of the Magician. And so I'm going to be reading from the post because if you see my other videos, I can't remember all of this stuff. And that was actually part of what was holding me back from making videos, making content, was thinking that I had to remember everything, that I just had to be this perfect person, and it's just unrealistic. And so I'm choosing to just show up and deliver these messages because I have a lot of messages, right? Spirit has given me so much to share with the world. And so I am stepping into 2026 very bold. Very, very bold, and just living in my truth, living in my authenticity, living my purpose, right? This is my purpose. This is my destiny. This is what I came here for. And so I just want to inspire anyone and everyone that has a mission, that has purpose, to pursue it, to follow it, to get up, do something. 2026 is going to be far different from the energy of 2025. And so everything that you have learned over the last year, everything that you have learned over the last 9 years, you are ready. You are ready to apply it in this 1 year in 2026. You are ready. Stop playing small. Stop holding yourself back. Stop waiting. It is absolutely time to take action, right? With Saturn moving into Aries, I believe, let me check my notes. What do we have? Yes. So to kick off the year, Neptune enters Aries January 26th, 2026, okay? Saturn enters Aries February 13th, 2026. Aries is fire energy, a lot of bold energy, a lot of movement, momentum. If you've seen some of my other videos, I speak about it. I was channeling it before I understood it, okay? And so I've really gotten heavy off into astrology. If you want to truly understand your life, understand what is going on, why shit is happening the way it is, you must understand astrology. You must understand the planets, the transits, because astrology runs the show. For those, that know me, I practice tarot, which, by the way, I am teaching my first tarot course, Unlock Your Intuition, Tarot for Self-Discovery and Spiritual Growth. We start January 19th, 2026. The doors are open, so I am enrolling now. So if you're looking to learn tarot, looking to strengthen your intuition, strengthen your connection with spirit, deepen your relationship with yourself, do some shadow work, move with more intention in 2026, make soul-led decisions, come into alignment with yourself. This course will help you do that. I will help you do that. As your spiritual teacher, as your spiritual guide, I will help support you on your spiritual and healing journey. And so the course is just really a gateway, a starting point, but there's so much value in the course. There's so much value in connecting with me and the resources that I have and offer, and just everything that I'll be doing in 2026. So if you are looking to get your shit together, get your life together, get in alignment with why you're here, your purpose, step into your spiritual authority, I encourage and invite you to join my course. Okay, all of that can be found on the website, which is www.theheartofagoddess.com. There's also information in the description below. Okay, let's get back on track. So like I said, Neptune enters Aries, Saturn enters Aries, and then Neptune conjuncts with Saturn February 20th, 2026. And so Neptune is the planet of illusion, confusion, and it was in Pisces. And so, there was a lot of illusion in the world and in our lives, right? So for me personally, Neptune was in Pisces in my 7th house. My 7th house is of relationships, okay? So for 14 years, I was in complete disillusion about relationships, partnerships, love. As I thought back to all of the relationships that I had, I'm like, something isn't right. And it wasn't right. Neptune was in my planet of relationships. So everyone that I dated for the past 14 years was filled with confusion, illusion, lies, betrayals, unauthenticity, I guess you can say. And had reason, right? It has purpose. As I look back in retrospect, everything had purpose. Everything was to teach me, to strengthen me, right? Not to betray myself, to just have that self-trust. And I mean, that's not what this video is about, but the power of Neptune, right? It controls our dreams. And so, yes, that's Neptune, right? But it's moving into Aries, it's moving out of the seventh house. Thank God. And so I'm excited for what it's going to do. And that's the thing about astrology, planets, transits, right? It's moving in different directions for all of us. So that's why it's important to know where your transits are, what your astrology is doing. Because as I look back, now it all made sense. I wish I knew what I know now then, but I'm here, I'm learning, I'm growing just as you are. And so if you are looking for answers, right, I offer a soul blueprint reading. And oh my God, I created it from my own experience, my own lived experience. And so in my soul blueprint reading, I look at, and I take your natal birth chart, so it's unique to you. And so the soul blueprint, it looks at your soul essence, your soul purpose, your soul lessons, your soul contracts, your soul karma, what you came into this lifetime with, what you already knew, right? Like your comfort zone. And so I look at your purpose for what you're meant to do in this lifetime. I also look at the key transits, the major transits, transiting your chart for the next 12 months. But some of these planets, again, will last 2.5, 3 years, or up to 14. Like Neptune is 14 years in a particular house, right? So wherever it lands, it's going to be there for the next 14 years. Okay. And so the soul blueprint looks at all of that. I also give spiritual guidance for your personal growth. So the soul blueprint is my signature offering. It is so impactful. It gives you like a roadmap, a blueprint, right? That's why it's called the soul blueprint. It gives you a blueprint, a roadmap of your soul, right? To get you on track. Again, if you feel out of alignment and you're wondering what you're supposed to be doing, what you're supposed to be doing next, if you're not happy in your life, if you are working an unfulfilled job, if you are in a dead-end relationship and you are looking for more growth, change, and to come into alignment, that is a great reading to book with me. Again, everything is on my website. Okay, back to these astrology dates. I have so much information, so it's like ping, 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 ping. I'm trying to bring it all together. Okay, so like I said, Neptune conjunct Saturn in February 2026, and then Pluto will continue through Aquarius. Pluto continues through Aquarius, which, Pluto entered Aquarius back in 2023, and so it will be transiting in Aquarius all the way through to 2043, right? 20 years. This is what I'm saying about these planets. They station in certain houses and planet signs for years. Again, these are collective astrology dates, okay? Uranus enters Gemini in April of 2026, April 25th, 2026. And then Chiron enters Taurus in June of 2026, with June 19th, 2026. And then Jupiter enters Leo June 29th, 2026. And it'll be there for about a year. Jupiter transits are typically about a year and a half. I think more of a year. Yeah, more of a year. And so, Jupiter is the planet ruled by Sagittarius, which I am. But Jupiter governs abundance, expansion. So wherever Jupiter is in your chart transiting, that's where you will see the most growth and expansion for that particular year. That is also included in my soul blueprint reading. I get into all of that. Okay, so I just wanted to throw those dates out there and stress the importance of how amazing astrology is. So that's my new fancy. I'm learning astrology and I'm loving every moment, right? And that's the thing over these, last, I don't know, 4 years, once my spiritual awakening started in 2021. I've acquired my tarot certification, my Reiki Master certification, my reflexology certification, and my sound healing certification. I don't know that I'm going to get certified in astrology, maybe, if Spirit, guides me to do that. But right now, I'm adding astrology to my spiritual toolbox, okay? And so I just wanted to share that. And so, I want to talk about the year of the Hermit and the year of the Magician, 2025, and what's coming in 2026. And so, every year carries its own energetic signature, but some transitions feel more significant than others. The shift from 2025 to 2026 is one of those rare threshold moments. A turning of the page not only on a calendar, but on an entire cycle of growth. Through the combined lenses of numerology and tarot, we can understand this passage more clearly. In numerological terms, sorry. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not even going to edit this out. This is me. This is real. This is authentic. And that's how I'm showing up in 2025 and beyond. Bloopers and all. 2025 resonates with the number 9. 9, a number of completion and culmination. In tarot, this energy mirrors the hermit, the wise seeker who turns inward to find truth. By contrast, 2026 reduces to the number 1, the number of beginnings, leadership, and initiative, perfectly aligned with the magician, the archetype of conscious creation and manifestation. Together, these symbols tell a powerful story. We are moving from endings to beginnings, from inner wisdom to outward expression, from reflection to creation. And absolutely, 2025 was a year focused on inner mastery, a lot of stillness, a lot of going within to find your truth, your own truth, your own voice, your own answers. 2025, as I mentioned, is about closure, about wisdom, right? The Hermit is all about inner wisdom. I love the Hermit. I identify with the Hermit because I'm a life path 9. I'm a Virgo rising, right? So that archetype is me completely. And so, yes, so 2025, the year of 9, the Hermit. And also in Chinese astrology, I'm not getting into that because I don't have depth in Chinese astrology, but it is also the year of the snake, right? So year 9, the Hermit, the snake. Okay, in numerology, 9 is the final number of the single-digit cycle. It represents closure, integration, compassion, and the wisdom that comes only after experience. 9 is not about starting something new. It is about finishing well. It asks us to release what no longer serves, to honor what has been learned, and to prepare ourselves for a fresh cycle ahead. Yes, what have you learned? What have you learned in the past 9 years? I personally have learned so much about myself, so much about the world. And so, let's see, past 9 years, that takes us back to 2016. What were you doing in 2016? I know me, I was in mommy mode. My son, he was just born 2011. So I was in mommy mode, and establishing a new identity for myself, right? Who is Nicole as a mom? Who is Nicole as a businesswoman? Because I've always been a businesswoman. And so that's what I was doing 9 years ago. I was learning to be a mom and navigating work-life balance, and all of that. Okay, so let's see. Okay, when paired with the Hermit in Tarot, this energy deepens even further. The Hermit is not a figure of isolation for its own sake. Rather, he represents intentional withdrawal. He steps away from noise, expectation, and distraction in order to hear his inner truth. Holding a lantern, he lights the path not for the crowd, but for himself, trusting that clarity comes from within. Exactly. Throughout 2025, many people experience this energy as a desire to slow down or simplify, emotional or spiritual introspection, endings in relationships, careers, or long-standing patterns, a pull towards solitude, healing, or inner study, a sense that something was concluding, even if the next step was not yet visible. This is the nature of 9 and the Hermit together. They do not rush answers. They ask for patience, honesty, and discernment. They encourage us to sit with questions rather than force solutions. Importantly, the work of 2025 was not always visible to others, and often not even fully visible to ourselves at the time. Hermit energy is very subtle. Its power lies in what it integrates, not what it displays, right? So a lot of internal growth happened for us this year. By the end of a 9, we are rarely the same people we were at the beginning. Absolutely. We are nowhere near what we were in 2016. You know what I mean? Or even the beginning of this year. We may not be able to point to a single defining moment, but we carry a deeper sense of knowing. We understand ourselves differently. We recognize what must be left behind. So what do you need to leave behind in these final days of 2025 to make room for who you are becoming or who you've become in 2026, right? Oftentimes Spirit always shows me, if you know Charlie Brown, Linus, he had this like little blanket that he carried everywhere with him, and it was so dirty, never wanted to wash it. And so that's what I think about, when I see my clients or people holding on to the old, this blanket, right? It's time to come out of your comfort zone, wash the blanket, throw the blanket away, so that you can start fresh in the new year in 2026, right? What do you need to release and let go of? Because the longer you carry what is old and outdated and stagnant with you, the longer it takes for you to get to where you're supposed to be, right? It delays your growth. It stagnates your growth. I feel as though, Spirit is patient with us, right? This is why we have free will. However long it takes us to learn the lesson and pass the class is up to us before we can advance to the next level, before we can advance to the next stage or phase in our journey, right? We co-create, and I'm going to talk about that with the Magician. We are in control of that through our own free will. But spirit is patient. But if you find yourself continuously repeating cycles, repeating patterns, it's like different people show up, but it's the same lesson. That is your indicator that you are not in alignment. There is a misalignment, right? And that should be like a little ding, 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 ding. Okay, something's not right. I need to make some changes. Okay? Yes, so 9 does not cling, 9 completes. And so one of the most misunderstood aspects of both the Hermit and the number 9 is that they can feel uncomfortable. There is often a sense of limitlessness, being between versions of oneself. The old no longer fits, but the new has not yet fully formed. Yet this pause is sacred. Without the integration phase of 9, new beginnings lack foundation. Without the Hermit's inward journey, action lacks direction. What 2025 offered was not stagnation, but preparation, the quiet kind that strengthens roots before visible growth begins. I feel as though Spirit planted a lot of seeds in all of us. If you were listening, if you went inward, if you slowed down, if you did the work, right? A lot of seeds were planted within all of us so that they will take root and grow as we step into 2026. So if 2025 felt slower, heavier, or more contemplative than expected, it was likely doing exactly what it was meant to do. And oftentimes, I used to worry, like, am I doing this right? Because I have no one to, fact check or bounce things off. It's me and Spirit. It's you and Spirit. And so you're not doing it wrong, right? None of us is doing it wrong because we're all here to learn and grow and evolve. And so, 2026, the year of 1, the Magician, where 9 closes, 1 opens. Okay. Numerology 1 is the number of beginnings, leadership, individuality, and initiative. It marks the start of a new cycle, a moment where intention matters deeply, because what is planted now will influence the entire sequence that follows. So we are entering in a brand new 9-year cycle. So I want you to think ahead. I think back in the day we used to have like a 3-year plan, a 5-year plan, right? I want you to think ahead. What would you want your life to look like in 9 years? Be intentional, because the things you do now, it will ripple forward. It's like a domino effect. In tarot, this energy is embodied by the Magician. If you've seen one of my previous videos, I felt like this energy is very magical, very magician-y. We can manifest a lot with this new energy, especially with this Aries energy, very bold, very fiery, a lot more movement, a lot more momentum is going to be happening for 2026. In tarot, this energy is embodied by the Magician. The Magician stands at the threshold between the spiritual and the material worlds. One hand points upward and the other downward, signaling the principle, as above, so below. Before him lie the tools of all 4 suits: wand, cup, sword, pentacle, symbolizing that he already possesses everything he needs to create. Absolutely. Spirit has given us all the tools we need to create the reality we desire. And if you had been doing the work in 2025 in your hermit energy, in stillness, moving in silence, you will know that. You will be ready to step into the year of one ready. I remember in my other videos, I kept channeling. Spirit just kept saying, get ready, be ready, right? And there's an old saying, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And so, unlike the hermit who seeks wisdom through withdrawal, the magician expresses wisdom through action. He does not wait for permission or perfect conditions. He acts with intention, focus, and confidence. In 2026, this energy invites us to begin new projects or paths, claim personal authority and leadership, act on insights gained during reflection, set clear intentions and follow through, and use skills, talents, and resources consciously. And so if 2025 asked, what is true for me? 2026 asks, what will I do with that truth? From hermit to magician, wisdom in motion. The transition from 9 to 1, from hermit to magician, is one of the most powerful shifts in the symbolic cycle. It represents a sacred reset, not an erasure of the past, but a transformation of it. We are all transformed by this cycle. We are all transformed. What was is no more. What was learned in solitude now becomes fuel for creation. What was released makes space for something new. What was understood internally now seeks expression in the world. It is time to share what you have learned. It is time to share your wisdom with the world. This is not about abandoning introspection. Rather, it is about embodying it. The magician's power comes precisely because he has clarity. He knows what he wants to create and why. What is your why? Ask yourself, what is my why? Why I do what I do? Why I want to do this next? What is your why? In this way, 2026 is not disconnected from 2025. It is built upon it, right? I feel as though 2025 was very foundational, and like this springboard, you're going to spring into 2026 with what you have gained, the wisdom you have acquired in 2025. Forward motion, movement. Okay. Let's see, where am I? We do not step into the year of the magician empty-handed. We step into it carrying every lesson, boundary, insight, and realization earned during the year of the hermit. I absolutely know this to be true. I have lived it. And so you will not enter this next cycle empty-handed. You have all the tools you need. Stepping into this new cycle. As we move forward, the question is not whether we are ready. Readiness is often revealed only through action. The invitation of 2026 is to simply begin. Begin imperfectly, which I started this with. Begin consciously and begin aligned. Alignment is the goal for all of us. Trust that the inward work has already been done. Trust that the tools are already in your hands. 2025 taught us who we are. 2026 invites us to create from that truth, from completion to conception, from wisdom to willpower, from inner knowing to outer mastery. The lantern has shown the way. Now the magic begins. Absolutely. And so, yes, these are concepts we talk about in my course, Unlock Your Intuition, Tarot for Self-Discovery and Spiritual Growth. You know, the Hermit and the Magician, for example, are two of my favorite archetypes. And so we take a deep dive into all of the entire major arcana because they represent a part of each of us at different seasons, cycles, phases in our life. It all shows up differently. And so I just wanted to share that with you as we close out this year and we step into 2026, so you can kind of know what is to be expected. And so what else do I want to say? Yeah, I just want to send out blessings and love and light to healing and healing to everyone. Again, we made it. We are just about at the finish line. And so I'm just wishing everyone a beautiful holiday, a beautiful, end of year, beautiful new year, all the good stuff. And so if you would like to connect with me, work with me, share your story with me, I'm on all the socials, all the platforms. You can reach me through my website, which is www.theheartofagoddess.com. And I would love to hear from you. I offer a variety of different readings, events, my course. What else do I have going? The Goddess Shop has some of my favorite products that I use and have used in my own healing journey. And so, yes. And so that's it. That's the message that I'm going to close with. And everyone take care, be blessed, be good to yourself. And I'll see you next time. Bye.